I like Richard Nixon.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to A Conversation with Colin. I'm Greg, and this is my roommate, Colin. Now, sometimes Colin says crazy stuff. So every Tuesday and Thursday, I reach into my random topic pile, pull one out, toss it at him, and we talk it out for your amusement. If you like that, like the video, subscribe to us on YouTube, share us with your friends. Colin, are you ready?
Yes.
Today's topic of conversation is, which lesser-known president should get more recognition? This comes from @ZGamer.
Which lesser-known president?
Which president? Yeah. Everybody's always talking about this Abraham Lincoln fellow. Washington. Bush.
Bush.
What's the one who we don't talk about enough that did something cool?
Oh,
the coolest, I guess, would be.
The coolest of the cool. I always like James Polk.
A perfect one. I might not have even been able to identify him as a president.
The reason
so you're nailing it already.
The real reason I like James Polk is because
Polk High, Al Bundy.
Right, exactly. He went to Polk High. He's a great football player there.
Yeah.
James Polk made a one-term pledge before he ran.
Yeah.
And stuck to it. He could have gotten reelected and he didn't. I always really like,
why did he only want to run? Why did he only want to be in there?
It was supposed to be we've had a bunch of two-term presidents. Keep in mind that the first 7 presidents in the United States, 6 of them were two-term presidents. Mm-hmm. Only one of them was. Well, actually, that's not true. Yeah. No, 2 of them out of the first 7 were one-term presidents. So it would be Adams and John Quincy Adams.
Okay.
But Washington, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, and Jackson were all two-term presidents. I think it was more of an ode to I'm here, I have a plan, I want to do something, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. And he stuck to that, which I thought was kind of neat. When you read about him, that he wasn't there to be reelected.
President Polk, kind of neat.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I just think it's cool. He wasn't there to be a career politician, and he could have easily gotten reelected. I think he actually would have died in the second term, though. He did die, I think, a few years after his term was up. But
gotcha.
I think he was an interesting person. I think the more lesser-known presidents that were terrible are more interesting than the lesser-known presidents that were good. A lot of people don't know about some of the terrible presidents.
You mean terrible president too? ZGamer, it's Polk. Congratulations. Now at Game Over Greg, he wants to know about a terrible president.
How about James Buchanan?
What a bastard.
James Buchanan was a terrible president.
What'd he do?
The state started to secede when James Buchanan was president. A lot of people don't think about that or whatever, but when it was Lincoln getting elected that caused the South to leave because they knew what he was all about. But James Buchanan, South Carolina, and then a few other states started to leave the Union under James Buchanan, and his whole thing was I don't know what you want me to do about it. I can't do you can't. He didn't feel like there was a constitutional way for him to stop them from leaving. Of course, Lincoln felt the exact opposite. But he was just a mess. Him and Franklin Pierce, who was the president before him, were both just. Franklin Pierce was considered a dough face, they called him.
Dough face. I got a dough face.
What that meant was no. What that meant was that he was a northerner from New Hampshire with Southern sympathies. So a lot of this stuff was put off. A lot of this action in the 1850s was basically a prelude to the Civil War itself. So we had some pretty bad presidents leading up to Lincoln that a lot of people don't talk about. And a lot of bad presidents leading up to Hoover are just do-nothing Republican presidents in the 1920s, like Calvin Coolidge and Warren Harding, that didn't do a lot of things that people don't talk about. We remember the great presidents for a reason, such as Richard Nixon.
No one remembers him for good things.
Or I like Richard Nixon.
Sure you would. Cheating bastard.
What
Nixon makes a good president anymore? That's the thing. You get up there, you got all these lobby groups plugging up Congress and everything else, the Senate and whatnot. You can't get anything passed. The House of Representatives is all screwed up. Nothing works. Yeah, Washington doesn't work.
It's kind of the idea that I like that the executive is like for instance, Obama's just done. No one cares about Obama anymore. He's just a lame duck. No one gives a shit what he has to say about anything. That's kind of the way the founders envisioned it.
Yeah.
The House and the Senate are where the power is, and I feel like that is going back to the way it was intended, as opposed to a more imperial presidency, as they call it. Mm-hmm. Obama has no the House doesn't respect Obama at all. They do not care about what he has to say, and the Senate, who is in control by Obama's party, also doesn't seem to care too much about what he has to say or whatever. He just is there to sign bills and set, be kind of a figurehead in the sense that he sets the agenda and stuff like that, or tries to get things passed and tries to use a bully pulpit and the power and prestige of his position to get the things he wants. But if you can tell that he has no respect in Washington.
He's like the Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, he doesn't get no respect. Yeah. But you could tell someone I think Bush had a lot more respect than Obama. And
which one?
Bush.
George?
Bush too.
Dubs?
Yeah.
Dubs.
Especially in the first term.
Well, okay. The first term was riding on 9/11 still. He was the defender of everything.
Yeah.
Second term was all wait a second.
But a great example is Clinton.
Yeah.
Clinton worked with a Republican House, or to get things passed, like they met in the middle or whatever. I think the sign of a good president is a compromiser, a person who understands that he's not, the reason Obama's so unpopular is because he's like super political, and doesn't compromise as much as he probably should. A lot of people think he compromises too much. I don't agree. So I think that a good president, a lot of good presidents come from a lot of different molds. I just don't think that we've seen one in a long. Clinton was a good president. I just don't think we've seen like an amazing president in a long time.
So the next question is, you think Hillary Clinton will be the amazing president?
I think she'll run for president.
Well, she's gonna win. We already know that.
I don't know about that.
Well, who's gonna beat her?
Chris Christie, Rand Paul, Marco Rubio. I mean, there's a few Republicans that can beat Hillary Clinton. It's just a matter of like how it's positioned. I think Hillary Clinton has definitely got a great chance of being president.
Yeah.
I think she kind of got robbed in 2008. I think there's a lot of like buyer's remorse with Obama. Yeah. I think a lot of people wish that they just went with Clinton, and it seemed like it was inevitable. Like I remember in 2007, it seemed like it was gonna be Clinton and Giuliani.
Yeah.
Like inevitably for
that's true.
And that kind of fell apart. Yeah. So it ended up being Obama and McCain.
Sucks. I like Giuliani.
I do too.
That'd been a good race.
I do too. But he's done. And I think it'll be, if I was, my prediction, I think it'll be Hillary Clinton and Chris Christie, and I think Chris Christie can beat Hillary Clinton.
That'll be a fun election to watch. I'll enjoy that one.
Yeah, they're both
Just
loud.
From the get-go, I was like, I don't even remember. Romney, he has no chance. Not a shot in hell.
I thought he did have a chance. Remember after the first debate when he just destroyed Obama, and everyone was like, oh my God.
And I was like, it doesn't matter, Colin. You're like, oh, it matters. And then I got my free pizza.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I bet on the right horse. So there you go, Z Gamer. A whole bunch of presidential knowledge just dropped on you. You got carpet bombed asking for one with no recognition. Somehow we started
Presidents like carpet bombing, so it makes sense.
You watching Newsroom?
Yeah.
Oh, doctor, do I like that show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Colin, thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. If you like this show, make sure you like the video, show it to your friends, then subscribe to us. Then leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comments below so we can make more episodes that appeal to your diverse interests. Until then, have a conversational day.
We went to a Filipino
transvestite
karaoke bar.
Right. In South San Francisco.
Called Edna's Ichiban Library.
Edna's Ichiban Library. We got the best karaoke in the city.
It's awesome.